Last episode, we built a squid farm in our tiny big garden, and hid it of course, and we stole a dolphin from the ocean. Certainly not on the first attempt, but we got one here eventually. And now it's finally time to give this dolphin a job in our storage system, using one of its unique mechanics. Let me explain. Having a storage system that will sort every item in the game is great. No more messing about with shulker monsters. But there is a problem. The larger a storage system gets, the longer it takes items to travel around it. And as I'm sure we're all aware, entities laying around will despawn after 5 minutes. Now, I don't expect anything to despawn currently. It takes items about 80 seconds to get through each floor, and we're going to have 3 floors. In theory, it should be okay. But if we also factor in all the input tubes and the sorters at the top, as well as the fact we're going to need a 4th floor for bulk storage, we're going to be cutting it a little bit fine and run the risk of losing items. So here's what we're going to do about it. So I did a bit of research on the old YouTubes. It was a while back now when I was first designing this storage system, but I came across a very unique solution to this problem by cubic meter, utilizing the humble dolphin. Now, the dolphin has a unique quality in that it loves to play, particularly with entities nearby. And here's the great thing. If a dolphin interacts with an entity, it resets that 5-minute despawn timer attached to it. So if we put a dolphin about halfway through our storage system, we can use it to reset all our items moving around the system and then give them more time to find their home. Simple, right? So what I'm thinking is, on the 2nd floor here, probably just before they drop down to the floor below, which I believe is behind this wall here, we're going to add a dolphin, and he's going to pick up all the items and then drop them to continue on the stream, and that will give them plenty of time to get around the next floor and the floor below where the bulk storage will be. So the first thing we need to do is get round the back here, and we need to make a spot to put this dolphin in. And it's a little bit cramped here just before he drops down, so I'm thinking we should have a little bit more space at the end of this row. Yeah, look at this, plenty of space. We'll do it here. Let's make a little containment unit for him. And something a little bit like this should do it. And what we need to do is to get a dolphin into this space here. And he will bounce around. He'll pick up any items that come in here, and then he'll immediately drop them again, and then they can carry on their journey, but they'll have a reset 5-minute timer. Question is, how am I supposed to get a dolphin in here? I think what probably makes the most sense is to try and drop him in from above, so I guess we'll do a little bit of digging. We'll see if we can find a nice place where we can just drop the dolphin straight down into this water here. So this has come out behind the Lego brick off to the side of the matchbox, but if we can get the dolphin over here, then we can just flush him down the tunnel straight where he needs to go, although I do need to obviously hollow that back out again. Something like that should make it a little bit easier. So let's go grab the dolphin, put him on a lead, and I guess hope for the best, although he did take a little bit of damage on the way over here. Maybe I should give him some splash potions first. But for that, I'm going to have to fly all the way back to our starter base. Let's go. Not going to lie, as much as I love our tiny big garden, I do miss this place. But we don't have time for reminiscing. We've got a dolphin to trap. So, potions. Splash potions of healing. Okay, we've got 3. That should hopefully be enough. In fact, yeah, maybe some regen wouldn't be a bad idea either. In fact, can't we give them water breathing and then help them not to suffocate on land, just in case it takes forever? So we'll make a couple of those as well. To make my life easier, I think we're just going to punch a hole out the back here and we can just walk right through. So here comes the difficult parts. I need to make sure I give him one of those and one of those. Okay, that looks to have healed him. And hopefully that's given him water breathing. It's given it to me, so yep, hopefully that's worked. So let's grab Mr. Dolphin. Let's just knock out a little gap here. Come on, fella. Right, wish me luck. So keep coming. Okay, this isn't so bad. That's the one. Easy now. Oh, geez. Right, okay, let's splash him again. Let's get him reattached. He's a runaway dolphin. Right, come on. And now we need to try and get him to go into this little chamber over here. Come on. That's it. Almost. Almost. Do we need to go back a little bit further? There we go. He's in. He's in. So now I just need to nudge him down this hole. Can I get him to do that? Maybe if I get rid of the water? Aha. It's working. Now I just need to break the lead, but he's a little bit far away. Maybe I should just go up, maybe? Is that going to help? No, that's not going to help at all. There we go. Oh, don't die, dolphin. He is indeed exactly where he needs to be. Now, can I get out of this? I've made a terrible mistake. Let's see if I can fly out of here. And head back round the back of storage. That was dangerous. Okay, so he is definitely in position. What we need to do now is just get a glass block in there, hopefully, without him escaping. And there we go. So now in theory, anything that falls in the back there, he'll pick up and just carry it. Look at that, it's working. So if we chuck some stuff in back here and then look at the dolphin, yeah, look at that, he's sending all the items off. So that will definitely solve our timing problem. Look at that. This is a very simple implementation of the Dolphin, but it's certainly going to do what we need it to do. But if you do want to find out more, then do go check out the video by Cubic Meter, where he explores, well, basically how you can use it to make an item sorter that's incredibly fast. But not so ideal for one that's sorting every item in the game. However, for our needs, this is absolutely perfect. Thank you, Mr. Dolphin, and may you live forever. So with our item entities now able to travel around the entire storage system without despawning, we should probably build the rest of the system, right? First step, let's get the chests and redstone in for the next 4 rooms. The redstone is in place, and now it's time to start decorating. And I think I'm going to start with this room here, which is going to be the redstone room. That's the redstone room done and looking pretty good. Next up, we're going to tackle this small one over here, which is going to be our food room. Nope, I can't do it. I need a break. I've been down here underground all day and, well, although it's coming along well and it's looking really good, I definitely need to go do something else for a little while. I need to find some sunshine. But to show you what we've done so far properly, this is our redstone room. We've got everything organised as it should be, although some things aren't filtered properly, like, for example, the shriekers. We only have one of those. I've actually stolen that from the room upstairs. We've also got lots of empty boxes for future-proofing and things like that as well, or overflow. We've got lots of space for redstone, so we'll store the blocks in here as well as redstone dust. And over this side, it's a much smaller space, but I love how this has come out. I've just turned it into a bit like a barn, but this is our food storage area. Once again, a few extra boxes as well. And there is one thing I noticed when I was putting in the redstone, and that's around the back here. So if we go around here, you'll notice that this box on the end here isn't sorted, and that's because I made a bit of a boo-boo. This is the only corner this has actually happened, because everywhere else we tend to have kind of mass storage on at least one of these sides. So when we have 2 corridors and 2 corners like this, all the redstone ends up sort of, you know, disjointed, so it doesn't interfere with each other. However, in this instance, we actually have 2 rows of chests on both corners, and this is the only corner this happens. And it basically just means that I can't use this one here, but that's not really a big issue. It's fine. You'd never notice. But as much as I love how these 2 rooms have come out, as I said, I do need to go upstairs, get some sunshine, and just get out from underground. Plus, there's some things we need to do up there. So last episode, we put in this squid farm here, and we hit it. But there is one slight problem, and that is this grid we have here of the trapdoors. But being the clever bunch you are, I've seen a few solutions for this of how we can hide this a bit better, and I think the most obvious one is literally just to replace the trapdoors with glass. If we put another layer of glass down here, yes, it's going to look a little bit shallower, but at least we're not going to have this horrible grid of brown squares. So my first job up here is just going to be to replace these. Oh yes, that looks much better. You can barely even see that there's a farm down there at all. And the good news is the farm's been running the whole time we've been building as well, so we've got so much ink. Wow. Next job is going to involve a little bit more terraforming, and I really like these mushrooms and how they've come out, but we need to add a bit more variety. We need some other mushrooms in here, we need some taller ones, we need some big bits of grass and so on. I just kind of want to tie this area here into the rest of it up the top here, which means essentially sorting out this slope here. So I've been having a look at pictures of mushrooms on Google, and what I've established is you can do mushrooms in pretty much any color and any shape and call it a mushroom. The plan is to add a few more of these brown mushrooms around, but I also want to vary it up a bit. So we're going to add some white ones in, and I think I'm just going to build some growing out the side of this bank here and just see how they turn out. So first up, we'll get a couple of stalks in. I want these ones to be not quite the same as those sort of mushrooms, so let's do something a bit more like that. And then I'm going to use a bit of calcite at the bottom here. Let's see how this goes. We'll just mark out a rough shape. Maybe just something as simple as that. But what I want to do is make sure that certain bits are sticking up a little bit. Just make it look a little bit more alive. So if we do that and then take out these blocks at the bottom here, and then we'll do another little lip here as well. And then I'm just going to build this up a little bit and we'll see how we go. I may end up changing the color of the stalk down there because I think that's going to blend in a little bit too much. I'm going to try mixing in a bit of quartz on the top here as well, some slabs, and just to smooth it over, but I don't really know how that's going to look. Tell you what, that looks absolutely terrible, and I really don't think the calcite's working, so let's see what we can do about this. Well, the top of the tiny mushroom definitely works a lot better without all that calcite in it. However, we do need to sort out the stalk because that's just not working. And there we go, actual mushroom stem looks a lot better than the diorite did. However, we have to bear in mind scale, and this is a tiny, tiny mushroom if you consider the blades of grass, the biscuit, and so on. And mushrooms like this, when they grow in clumps. So that means we need to add a bunch more around here, and this will probably be the smallest of the lot, pretty much. They also tend to all grow out of the same kind of stem system, so let's see what we can do about that. Second mushroom's in, however, it does need a little bit of colour, and I think we're going to solve that under the bottom here. And by colour, I just mean an offset, and what we're going to do is use a little bit of oak wood for that, and that should make it look a little bit different on the inside and give it that sort of brown underneath colour of the mushroom. Yep, that's making a massive difference on the inside there. Just adding a few oak planks has really made it pop from the stem, and I think that's pretty much how we're going to do this. You'll be pleased to know I didn't follow through with those mushrooms as they were. They were looking way too bright. So what I've actually done is I've changed them. And I swapped out all the quartz at the top for some white terracotta, and that works much better. You may notice I've also sorted out the landscape around the front here a bit. And if we fly further back, we can see that starting to come together. I've also discovered that the mangrove roots here really do work for breaking up the floor texture here as well. Because of course we do have the rooted dirt as well as the coarse dirt and some normal dirt patches as well. But the normal dirt and coarse dirt don't look too dissimilar there, do they? But adding in these mangrove roots really does help to break it up, as well as a couple of rocks we've got here and there as well. But that's enough sunshine for today. It's time for us to head back underground and carry on building up our storage. So down here we've got 2 rooms left, and I guess we can just pick up where we left off, can't we? So we're going to sort out this room here, which is going to be for mob drops, and I guess we can probably just carry on the music from where it was as well, right? That's the mob drops room complete and looking pretty cool if I do say so myself, which means we can do our final room, which is all the leftovers. Looking good. Now we just need to sort out all of the water streams and the lobby. Taken absolutely forever to get this done, but this is looking pretty cool. I still want to mix in some of the blocks that we've got coming out of each of the rooms and so on, just to blend them into the lobby a little bit more and get rid of things like this, but this is looking pretty awesome. That is 3 complete floors of our storage done, and not only that, if I pop into free cam and just float up here, we can see that it is actually working marvelously. We've got it sorting through what's this glowstone dust at the moment, apparently, is what's coming through, but we've got lots and lots of stuff being sorted, and the whole thing is working an absolute treat. Although there is still one thing remaining, and that is, of course, the last floor. And the last floor is going to be a lot simpler, thankfully. But what we need to do is we need to put in our bulk storage, just for the sheer amount of things like stone, dirt, and so on that we have. We want to be able to fill up the boxes on the correct floor, and then any overflow we want to put into shulker-loaded storage. So we'll just have shulkers and shulkers of stuff on the bottom floor, as well as a few other cool contraptions, but we'll get to that soon. For now, let's have a quick tour of this new couple of rooms we've got here. And first up is this room here. So this is our kind of leftovers room. It's pretty much all the stuff you might use for interior decoration, and just a few other bits and bobs, all the villager workstations and so on. And I absolutely love how this room looks. And not only that, it also doubles as my bedroom, which is marvelous. And once again, this room does have lots and lots of empty boxes, so we've future-proofed it. It's also got lots of gaps where there's things that I just don't have yet, because, well, we haven't actually been everywhere. We haven't collected every item in the game just yet, but we are now sorting every item we own. And my favourite bit of this room is probably the bookshelf on the floor here. I absolutely love that. I've just used some clear glass here as well, and yep, that looks well cool. And we've also completed our mob room, which I absolutely love, with the little slime logo on the floor, all these weird little moody bits on the ceiling. I think it just works really well, especially with the fake dungeon at the back. But we're sorting all the mob drops in here. We've got the less common items in the smaller boxes, and the ones we're going to end up with likely quite a lot of, because either we have farms or we'll end up with farms. I've given them a little bit more space, but I'm well chuffed with how this is looking so far. I guess the next thing to do is going to be to dig out the next floor, but that's going to have to wait for next episode. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye now. Look at Mr. Dolphin go!